This is Mac OS Ken.
Security updates from Apple, a little Apple TV talk, and Tim Cook's 50th anniversary email to staff. It is Thursday, the 2nd of April, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by NordLayer. Secure your network, block threats to your business, and save with offer code MacOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. If you're running iOS 18 on an iPhone that could run iOS 26, that security update from Apple is legit. While Apple would like for everyone who can run iOS 26 to do so, maybe you can't because it's a work phone and your workplace isn't ready to make the move. Or maybe you just don't like what you've heard about liquid glass. Whatever the case, pieces from Mac Rumors indicate that the dangers around Darksword are so real, Apple's made a patch for iOS 18 users who could be running something else. We've talked about it enough that you probably remember what Darksword is. It is the fileless hack that can steal tons of sensitive information from iPhones unlucky enough to browse an infected site. Adding to the issue, since no malware is installed, it leaves either no trace or virtually no trace of the exfiltration. All of that was made even worse last week when the exploit was posted to GitHub, available for bad actors to do bad things. Mac Rumors ran a piece in the middle of the night, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning that had Apple saying the update was coming. Later on Wednesday, they ran a piece saying, "Here it is!" That piece says iOS 18.7.7 was initially limited to the iPhone XS and XR models, but it is now available for other iPhones. Mac Rumor says iPhone users can install the updates by opening up the Settings app, going to General, and selecting the Software Update option. Those with automatic updates turned on will see the new software installed automatically. Remember yesterday when I said I assumed the first ever firmware update for Apple's AirTag 2 was probably aimed at stability improvements and bug fixes? Turns out I was only partly right. Or partly wrong if you want to be that way about it. A piece from 9to5Mac says Apple's release note showed the update tweaking one of the tracker's safety features. While AirTag can be great for keeping track of a backpack or luggage while traveling, it can also be used by stalkers to keep track of victims while they're stalking. To fight that, 9to5Mac says Apple instituted anti-stalking measures. These include sending iPhone notifications to the person being unknowingly tracked and playing a sound using the AirTag speaker to aid detection. It is that sound part that has been tweaked. According to Apple's release notes, AirTag firmware update 3.0.45 updates the unwanted tracking sound to more easily locate an unknown AirTag during precision finding. It also includes bug fixes and other improvements. You can now get a Studio Display XDR for $400 less, but you will need something against which to lean it. Apple Insider says Apple has cut the price of the Studio Display XDR with a VESA mount adapter by $400. Prices now run $2,899 for the one with the sanded glass. The nano texture version will run $31.99. If you paid the old price for either of those, don't get upset. The Cupertino company is said to be issuing refunds for folks in that situation. The ones with the adjustable stand stay the same price it's $3,299 for the regular glass plus a stand. Nano texture plus stand stays $35.99. Additions this week to Apple's list of vintage and obsolete hardware. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple has put the third-generation Wi-Fi-only iPad Air and the 13-inch 2017 MacBook Air on the vintage rack. Generally speaking, vintage devices are those that have been off the market for more than 5 years, but less than 7. While Apple and its authorized service providers will service those machines in theory, such service is dependent on parts availability, so go gentle just in case. As for obsolete devices, the piece says the iPad Mini 4 and 32GB Apple TV HD have taken the long walk. Off the market for 7 years or more, neither Apple nor its service providers will service or repair obsolete machines, so go extra gentle with those. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, NordLayer, a toggle-ready network security platform built for today's business. How much would you pay to protect your business? The ideal answer is anything. But who's got that kind of money? The cool thing is you don't need that kind of money with NordLayer. $8 per user per month. NordLayer combines VPN, access control, and threat protection in one easy-to-use platform, starting at just $8 per user per month. And it keeps getting stronger. They partnered with CrowdStrike to bring Falcon endpoint protection to small and mid-sized businesses. That is your business, getting enterprise-grade security that's simple to deploy, simple to manage, and still starts at just $8 per user per month. Got a lot of people? NordLayer has special rates for teams with 100 seats or more. Whatever the size of your business, NordLayer is ready to meet your security needs with step-by-step onboarding and 24/7 support. Oh, and they do have an exclusive offer for macOS Ken listeners. Get up to 22% off NordLayer yearly plans plus 10% on top with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. Try it risk-free with their 14-day money-back guarantee. NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. If you're an Apple Arcade subscriber, there are 3 new games waiting today. According to a piece last month from Mac Rumors, hitting the arcade today are Dredge Plus, a fishing adventure where players explore eerie archipelagos, dredge the ocean floor for hidden treasures, and uncover mysteries lurking beneath the waves. Unpacking Plus is a relaxing puzzle game centered on unpacking belongings and arranging them in a new home. As players organize items across different rooms, they gradually piece together the story of the life they're unpacking. And finally, My Very Hungry Caterpillar Plus, an interactive experience based on the children's character where players care for their own caterpillar, feeding and playing with it as it grows and eventually transforms into a butterfly. Crap, I should have said spoiler alert. Apple Arcade costs $6.99 per month for hundreds of titles with no ads and no in-app purchases. It's also available in the various Apple One bundles. The new games should be ready for play today. Stunning news from Cupertino. Apple has updated its sports app. It's been close to a week, I think. Mac Rumors ran a piece Wednesday saying the company has added more 2026 FIFA World Cup content. The Sweet Science, the Sport of Kings. Neither of these are names for soccer. Soccer's called footsie, I think. Anyway, the update will let people view complete tournament groupings and follow their favorite national teams. Following teams will let them get real-time score updates and stats and track games live in live activities. So please, enjoy the action on the gridiron, America's pastime. Neither of which are names for soccer. Apple TV News you can use, if you want to tell people stuff about Apple TV, I guess. First up, a Who Knows When We'll Get It series called... Actually, it doesn't have a name yet, and who knows when it'll get one of those. It's got stars, though, and a plot. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says Dakota Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård are set to star in the international thriller series Insert Title Here. According to Apple, according to 9 to 5 Mac, Fanning will star as an undercover treasury agent in a multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate with world-changing political and criminal tentacles who becomes conflicted between her mission and the belief that her principal target, the heir apparent to all that corrupt power, is at his core a good man and worthy of her love. No clue as to when this show will hit the stream. Something coming pretty soon, a series I don't think I'm going to be able to watch. I mean, I want to, but I don't think I'm going to wanna. Apple TV issued a press release earlier this week with a teaser for the psychological horror thriller series Cape Fear. According to Apple's description, a storm is coming for happily married attorneys Anna and Tom Bowden when Max Cady, a notorious killer they're responsible for putting behind bars, is let out of prison and he wants vengeance. There is so much to love about this series. Amy Adams and Patrick Wilson play the happy couple. Love them. Javier Bardem plays the ex-con. Love him. The series is executive produced by Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. Love them both. And I really don't think so on this one for a couple of reasons. First, it's said to be based in part on Scorsese's 1991 remake of the 1962 film. I saw the 91 remake in the theater, and 35 years later, I can still tell you how frightened I was. So, that is reason number one. Probably going to give it a miss. Reason number two, I've seen the teaser. I don't know, maybe I was hoping for more psychological than horror or thriller. The teaser leans really hard on horror and thriller. If that's your jam, I'm sure this thing's going to be fantastic. You'll have to let me know. The first 2 episodes hit Apple TV on Friday the 5th of June. The series will run through the end of July. The teaser is up now on YouTube. Did you see what happened in Florida yesterday? NASA's Artemis 2 mission blasted off for a trip around the moon. Barring incident, should get there in about 5 days. I sat glued to the biggest TV I have ever owned, watching the countdown and liftoff. While the world got to see the launch real time on Wednesday, Apple Vision Pro owners should be in for a treat, well, relatively soon, I hope. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece Tuesday on plans to capture the start of the mission in immersive video. According to the piece, the film company Cosmic Perspective shared earlier this week that it was on the ground, ready to film the launch with a Blackmagic immersive camera for Apple Vision Pro. While every mission is special, yesterday's capture should be old hat for Cosmic Perspective. 9 to 5 Mac says the company has captured many other launches in 3D, 180-degree stereoscopic film, and immersive spatial audio. They've got an app called Rocket Launch VR for Meta Quest. The firm's site says an app for Apple Vision Pro is coming soon. And finally today, Apple CEO Tim Cook sent a memo to company employees on Wednesday, officially marking Apple's 50th anniversary. In it, he shared a story told to him by Apple co-founder Steve Jobs. When you grow up, Jobs is said to have said, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is. But life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. You can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. It is that spirit that's brought people to work at Apple over the past 50 years, according to the CEO. Back then, there was a single computer prototype in a garage, wrote Cook. Today, there are 2.5 billion active Apple devices in the hands of people in every corner of the earth, helping them create, communicate, learn, and connect in ways that would have seemed unimaginable then. As extraordinary as it is to reflect on the past 50 years, he went on to write, what excites me most is what comes next. The opportunities ahead of us are among the greatest we have ever seen, and there's no team in the world better positioned to meet them. Thank you for everything, and here's to the next 50 years. Tim. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by NordLayer, toggle-ready network security built for your business. Get savings on top of savings with offer code macOSKen-10-NordLayer at nordlayer.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macOSKen.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
It's still sunny.